Hello everyone, it's nice to see you all here. It's the Turf Wars 3 day. We're gonna have very exciting games today. Just Up Bacon is here with me. Welcome, Bacon.
Howdy.
And also the mastermind behind the cards, Coulter Baker is here. Welcome, Coulter.
Hello, everyone.
So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Happy to be here. Happy for our third and greatest turf war so far.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good event. This time we have changed some rules. Not rules exactly, but it used to be 5 versus 1. Today it's gonna be 4 versus 4 event. And the previous time they were able to eliminate 3 people. Now they can eliminate 2. Do you have any words to say, Bacon, before we start? I guess the players are still choosing who's going to start first.
I've got nothing really, other than Foxfang is here to win. I mean, we always do win, but even when we win, like, we're still winning more, so today is going to be a winning more day.
I'm trusting my team, actually. Like, I believe them. We're gonna make it 3-0 today.
Are you? Is it even your team, by the way? Like, I thought Good Dog was running this. Did he have to abdicate?
Yeah, as all of you know, the team was created by the Good Dog, but he told us that he wants to take time off in summer, doesn't want to play any games in the summer, because, you know, he's a very busy man. He has his own company, and he deserves time holiday, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So he asked me if I can be the acting leader in his absence. No, I'm the acting leader till he turns.
It sounds like he just wanted to quit while he was hypothetically ahead, and
I don't think
didn't
so.
want to watch the downfall.
Yeah, like you may think like that, but it's not the case. So, your team is ready. I guess my team is choosing a player right now. Yes, our
Coulter
team is
will
ready.
be today.
Bacon, you decided who's going to start?
Oh, yeah, we've got our person.
Alright. So, our person is Grandpa. He can join the voice channel. Who is your person?
Urban.Nomad.
Ooh.
We were hoping y'all would go with Grandpa.
Oh, this is going to be a very good game. So, let me tell them this. And start our first game. Have you guys checked their decks yet? Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I've got all the deck codes saved onto my profile, so I will be going through them and giving y'all the commentary and bye on them as we are rolling.
So what's Urban is playing today?
Urban.Nomad has brought 2 more aggressive mid-range style decks. His first one is a Mira Metal deck, some of y'all might recognize from the League games, while the second is a Zoe aggro deck, which has a heavy focus on tokens and trying to blow out the game with Blood Hunter.
Oh, that's right. Hey Grandpa, welcome.
Yeah. Grandpa here is rocking something that Foxfang's own Anti-Bends brewed up not too long ago. It is a Archivist, kind of an OTK deck, that relies on playing a lot of mulligan cards, along with things like Arcadial Mask, to basically get up to 99 health, and then just punch your opponent's face in with Invest for an OTK.
I don't know if that's really
And he
Antiben's
also has
deck. I kind of came up with the original concept myself, actually, and had Antiben's help me.
Oh, really?
But you can steal the glory for Foxfang however you can, I suppose.
I definitely
Well,
got motivated by this deck before Anti-Ben started playing again, so I can confirm that this deck definitely existed in one form or another far before he came back. I think it was...
Gramps, can you share the screen and deafen yourself?
Let's see what our chat is saying today. We've got a lot of people here. We've got Anthibens, Miss Swords, Shpungo, of course.
He just woke up. So let me switch the scene. They're getting ready. So Miss Rex also followed us. Thanks for the follow.
It looks like he will be going with the Archivist deck.
Yeah.
Saying it was very removal heavy. And something we'll be talking about a lot today is this balance of decks between like units, removal, and draw cards.
And this deck is very capable of going out of deck draw actually. And with lots of health, the deck has a really good advantage.
Well, if he can get that far.
Yeah. But most of the time I see them using Touch the Sky. Like, it doesn't matter they're at 60 health, 90 health. They use Touch the Sky. Because they're forced to use that.
Yeah.
I think some of the builds may mainboard Touch the Sky for aggro counter, basically. I think
yeah.
a version, because if you get really low early, it can technically get you back closer to the higher health totals you want to be at anyways. So.
Well, it doesn't even matter at that point. You don't even have to hit your full combo if you get a big enough Touch the Sky, because you just remove the rest of their units from the game. It's like, how are they going to reduce your health anymore when they have 2 units in deck?
I mean, aggro decks, I've thought that many times after I've wiped their like 3rd board and they just keep building pressure back on, so...
Those are what the Zoe decks do. They're infinite numbers of tokens. But we'll see. Eventually, we'll see. There we go.
Finally.
There it is. Here, are we going to start the stream bets for this? Are we running that?
Not this time. But we can ask their opinion of the chat. What do you guys think? Who's going to win? Nomad versus Grandpa. So Nomad is going with the mirror. And Grams is using the banjo as expected.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at this hand. We've got the Magnanimous. We've also got the Salvage in here. We can use that to ramp up in a bit. Aya is also here. I'm not sure what Aya draws. And then it's kind of a question of deactivate or hydrate, I think. Yeah, going deactivate. He's going for the slower game plan. This removal.
We need to check what Aya is drawing. Aya is drawing Take Root.
Yeah, Take Root will definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
But going second, it'll be a bit longer for him to get to that point. Unless he draws it early, but that's not something to rely on.
Yeah, definitely.
I always seem to draw my Take Root right when I keep an Earth Warden in my opening hand to draw it for free, and then the Earth Warden's junked because it will draw like a 5 mana card.
Yeah. Here's the Seek. That'll be a 8-cost Touch the Sky later. That's going to be fun to deal with. Urban does have a few tools to get around that. He has Cavalry and he has Geode, but Seal of Doom can answer both of those.
They are very nice answers for this deck.
Now, Urban only has so many turns here. He's choosing his early turns to set up. Looks like he's just going to take some kind of really big opening all at once. Try and crush him out. Grandpa draws Touch the Sky. That's going to be annoying. And there's the Gato. We love it, we hate it, but it's omnipresent. Aya's going to cleanly answer, and that'll be a good curve in the mag next turn. Or, he could take root, and then he'd be, A on the next turn. And something I've seen quite a few times is mag in the clone army. Get 2 of them. Urban's spending a lot of time drawing here. Played Gato so far. Looking to see what he's doing with that mana flask.
I may have just missed this. Is this Rainbow Banjo or is it Inspirator or
It's Archivist.
It is
General...
Archivist.
Yeah.
I suppose the Clone Army is still pretty good with Archivist. You could make 2 Archivists with an illusion and then shuffle them back to use them again later. So.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
I've seen 4 of them at the board at the same time.
Yeah. He's going to throw that down early. Looks like he may be holding on the Clone Army to do the double Archivist later.
I do appreciate that even after all the nerfs to like healing strategies and stuff with Invest, that people can still actually feasibly run like a deck that at least semi-consistently can get to Invest.
Yeah, it's very fun to try. So people enjoy trying that.
Yeah, I don't enjoy playing against it.
I actually think this deck is worse to fight as Control because you just don't have any way to stop them from doing it. Like I play against it, and I couldn't.
Oh no, Horic can blow through this.
What?
Provided you don't like connect or ill will. Horic has a good matchup on this.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Horic is more of a sort of mid-range like body control, whereas I was playing like Axel, just fatigue the opponent, and they just set up on me and killed me.
Yeah,
I just done it.
You can't fatigue somebody when they have 99 health. Does not work that way.
Yeah, it just gave them all the time. I actually tried to beat them down, but I just couldn't mount enough of a board presence to actually threaten them.
Is Urban saving that flask for like a Geode or not Geode, a Gemini or something?
That's possible.
It doesn't give lead anymore, so that's just asking to get 8 by Touch the Sky, but
It's a good breakdown of units here to fighting its water line.
Uh-huh. I wonder if he's trying to play around the water line. Grandpa seems to be in a bit of a spot. He chose to take Deactivate early over that Hydrate. Just left him without much of a draw scheme here. Although I'm not sure that Urban is making much of his draw power right now.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Like, I was talking with the grandpa the other day, and he told me that his hardest matchups are against the aggro decks. He's doing actually pretty well against the control decks. But I'm not sure about the mid-range.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Waterline's going to answer this pretty effectively here. But Glorious Mane has now triggered, so for the rest of this game, Urban's going to have some kind of chunky units. That's interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose that early.
Yeah, Arcadium Mask, the times I've seen it dropped, is usually used to make... First off, you get another Seer's Mask, but more importantly, you get, like, 2 extra health on every spell, or every time you mulligan, which ends up, like, just making the breakpoint. Not sure what Antuga is doing there either.
Just hoping it lives, I guess. It's just like, it slows the opponent down. It's like, please answer these annoying units.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't think he has any units left in deck. No, he has Giza left, but it's not going to draw anything.
Well, he must have the... Oh, no, wait, he drew the Archivist.
Oh, wait, Giza's going to draw, like a freaking Gemini or Cryogen or something. That's annoying.
Yeah, it'll pull, like, Gemini, Cryogen, or Amarua. Is there a 10-cost unit? No, I don't think so. Only Strength and Heart, and then... Yeah, just mainly Strength and Heart have 10-cost units.
Alright, Sunder for the clean answer. And Geode coming down. Grandpa has absolutely no answer for Geode in hand right now. Oh, and he's just gonna punch it. He does not care. Really? Bruh. A top deck Seal of Doom. Okay. Okay. We have to deal with those. No way. Clone Army?
Well, there's Insomnia, forever the most awkward card.
Deactivate can't go down because of Geode's effect.
How's the win rate of Insomnia?
Insomnia's actually been doing pretty well. Insomnia's actually doing pretty well. It just always feels awkward to use, but its win rate's actually pretty good because it's a very powerful effect.
Yeah.
Letting your opponent keep anything for a turn is always risky, so.
Yeah.
Should have brought the phone.
Coming down big, but that's just going to eat Seal of Doom as well. I'm a little curious what Grandpa was thinking with that previous play. Guess he was thinking the cycle, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay. What do y'all kill here? Archivist or Arcadian Mask?
It seems like a reasonable decision.
Yeah.
God is definitely putting in the work, just gumming up this whole deck.
No. Oh.
No, that's a pretty good play into Seal. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have it for later, and then kaboom.
Okay, then. Didn't think I'd see that.
I've done that so many times with like Ponderous. I'll play it, start using it, study, and then shuffle it back just to gain even more ability to go out of deck to outlast people.
Okay, now, realistically, Urban should be able to answer that Archivist pretty easily. He has Burn to Crisp in hand. He's not going to use that for too much, other than maybe clinching Lethal. But he's holding a lot of cards. And we still never saw what he hit with Suit Up. Could be Gemini.
I'm actually surprised that he played the Archivist, but I suppose tempo is important here. I thought he might hold it.
Yeah, it seems like
he can get a couple of them together. It's one thing I really do like is how often in a game of Skyweaver you have to reassess your position and what you need to play towards constantly.
Yeah.
So like, I am the aggressor, or I am the defender, or whatever changes moment to moment.
Well, there's the Jackrabbit. Card was recently changed. It was a bit of a controversial change in the community. Not really like it was wacky, just that it was a weird effect in the way it was changed.
Have you tried it or seen someone doing good with it?
Not. But Urban seems to be pretty fine with it if he's playing it in his deck.
It's a decent metal body with a little bit of tech and stuff. So
It's big.
Oy. Wonder if Grandpa's wishing he had that Hydrate.
Yeah.
His deck is just kind of floundering a bit because it can't get enough the critical mass of draw. I feel like it really desperately wants to pop off with.
Here as well. We were talking about that card earlier, but here it's not doing so well.
Yeah.
Tempest Brew is kind of
it
funny.
bought him time. It saved him a good chunk of health.
Yeah, it certainly did. It's also
And
getting to reset the stats.
Yeah, it reset the units down to a more manageable size where Volcanic Potion can now clean them up if they come down again. So, all in all, still plugging away. Not the flashiest card in the game, but Good workhorse of a card. Just keeps you alive. Keeps you in the game longer.
The Fan Dancer is, I'm pretty sure, is out of deck here. Coulter, are you eating like cereal without the cereal part?
No, I'm not.
Coulter is rummaging through his toolbox to find the banhammer. Oh, well, good.
I'm making notes with it.
Metallic chopsticks. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Now we got a game.
Yeah, now we can play.
Yeah, this could be. What?
What? Okay, so Gemini into Halcyon. Punish him.
I wonder if this is. This seems very strange, especially that makes me think it might have been a misclick, unless he's like. Oh boy. Oops, or whatever. Oh, that's exactly lethal. Although I think he had a bit of damage to spare if he needed it with
or electrons.
With Electron, yeah. I wonder if that was a misclick or if it was like some really like calculated plan to draw into touch the sky next turn somehow. I don't know how he would have known he could have guaranteed that or anything, but like I could have seen that if that was the plan.
Hydrate, manage memory, hydrate again, perhaps, but
that's too much mana. But like I was just. That's all I can think is that if that was intentional, it was based on some sort of idea that he could somehow draw into touch the sky.
So, Nomad won this one. He's sticking. So let's see if Grandpa is going to change or we're going to move to the next person. Give him some time to discuss with the team what's gonna do.
Yeah, I wanna watch a bit, see the chat's reaction to that. It could have been calculated, but I don't wanna assume that. We'll let Grandpa tell us what happened.
He didn't time out, right? Like that turn ended really fast, so it couldn't have been a timeout.
It looked like as soon as he drew Hydrate, he just passed his turn. Like he was content to let him build up more board before a Volcanic Potion.
Yeah, I mean, I get it could have been a calculated risk. Definitely, it seemed a little fast. Like I could have seen that if he'd like waited through like half his turn and then passed, I would have been able to say, yeah, it's definitely some sort of calculated risk he's taking to try to let them play into a bigger touch the sky or something. But
yeah. Okay, I'm watching the playback now. I mean... Yeah, it looks like... Can't tell.
Maybe his cat stepped on his mouse. Stepped on his keyboard.
Yeah, I specifically sent that cat. Subterfuge.
It was Gatto.
It was Gato.
Which means it was me, technically, I guess. So I guess I was responsible. I am on Bacon's intern team, apparently. Though I've
you are, in fact,
an intern meeting.
Speaking of which, might as well plug it now. For those of y'all who haven't been keeping up, on Skyweaverleagues.com, got my latest meta report up, put together with the help of a lot of other high-level players. Zygote here, Grandpa, Urban were all people who helped me put it together, along with some of the others that you guys will see today, like Shpungo and Ufrat. Make sure to go check it out. It's up on Skyweaverleagues.com, and I've got some really cool decks to show you all there.
Definitely. Check that out. It's very cool.
Yeah, I swear, it's not a psyop for me to just tell Coulter what to make the balance patches.
I
Totally not a psyop.
mean, I've never been I've never been like shy about saying that a lot of my balance is based on the numbers I observe, like actual hard data. That's what I tend to trust a bit more. But I do always listen to the community and make certain adjustments, even if the data doesn't necessarily reflect it, because in addition, it's important to use both qualitative and quantitative data.
So our team has decided on who's going to play. It's going to be Silver Arrow. I'm letting him to join us. Yep, he's with us. Welcome, Silver. Can you please deafen yourself and share your screen?
I just discovered I have mod powers, so I can mute and deafen. That was a poor idea, Zygote.
I think that was a good idea, but don't make me regret that. He hasn't shared the screen yet. Let me tag him.
Well, that's one banjo deck down. I am currently a happy camper. A bunch of people in the chat are trying to figure out what Grandpa was doing. People are saying like manage memory, whelm, hydrate, overdraw something.
That sounds pretty good. Recasting Whelm there seemed like quite a good play, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah, that would have been rather devastating. Just remove another turn. Although with no draw in hand and no real combo coming, it seemed that may not.
No, but he could have. What he could have done is he could have hydrated, then managed memory to get hydrate back. Although I think that there was something on top of Whelm, wasn't it? There was Whelm the top, Whelm the grade. It was on the top. Yeah, hydrate into manage into hydrate Whelm would have like overflowed the enemy hand while refilling and buying time. It seems like it would have been a quite good line. So
he could have gone off on the combo the next turn had he drawn when he needed.
So they're ready.
That's like 6 cards of draw. Okay, and it looks like Silver is going to be bringing out the Ada Dark List. This is a mono prism that utilizes mostly dark units alongside Glorious Main. And he gets it in the opening hand with Skeeter, which means that this entire game, he's going to be playing with +1/+1 units.
Nice. I wonder if we see the keep seems to be like maybe just, I don't know, I like call to action, but I can definitely see the argument for Sunder as well.
Against Mirror Metal, Sunder would certainly be... Okay, he's going to call into Skeeter.
Yeah, I suppose the idea is, yeah, you can call for Skeeter if, I don't know what kind of one drops the deck runs.
And make it just a straight turn 2 play, because then you could go Brimstone, then turn 3 Skeeter, pot, main. Now he's going to have to, like, call Skeeter this turn if he wants to play Glorious Main next turn.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The curve with Brimstone did look a little slicker, but you could go, like, call Skeeter just to present a threat. And your deck is mostly dark units, and you don't have any dark units in hand, so even if you can't Glorious Main next turn, that's probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like you desperately want to buff your hand immediately, because you don't have any dark units in it. And if you could go main, if you can go main Potion Axolotl, that would be pretty impressive.
Yeah,
there we go.
A lot of his late game value, because he really relies on having these big dark units that are hard to deal with, like Frank. Gladiator is big play here. Because
it can be answered.
He can answer one, but not both.
Yeah.
And it takes his mana potion. Gonna go for Earwig here.
Fun fact of the day, did you know Axolotl is actually named for Xolotl, a Mesoamerican god of the dead?
I thought it was named for axolotl, as in like the animal.
An anime called Axolotl.
No, an actual animal. Like there's an
No, no, no.
animal, an axolotl.
No, yeah, I mean the axolotl, the animal, is named for Xolotl, like Aztec god of the dead.
Oh,
And ours is named for the animal because it is an axolotl.
you should introduce another card that's called Xolotl then. That's like water and heart or whatever, and just like has an undead army of axolotls or something. Like, really sell me on the flavor here.
Also, sadly, apparently axolotls are extinct in the wild.
Yeah, usually.
But they survive through like the pet trade because they're very popular pets.
Yeah, axolotls are cool.
Also in Japan, they were called whoopers. Whoopers.
Oh my gosh, that'll be like the freaking Pokemon, isn't it?
Yeah, so whooper is named very literally. Because it's based on an axolotl.
Here we
Oh,
The
that's
speeder
not good.
already.
Oh, this is actually not that bad. I mean, Silver Arrow really isn't falling that far behind on board or anything.
No, he certainly isn't. But his hand is a bit janky right now.
So we go Ada water. We buff the axolotl so that you can get behind the thing, or could just see. It is really, really janky, actually. You have to like commit Lead Goblet or Glorious Mane in order to get the free kill on Electron.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's very awkward.
Main on the Lottle. Okay.
We'll do
Well,
that
that's-
to clear the board.
That's what you're talking about. Constantly having to reevaluate your position in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he sees that Urban.Nomad like doesn't have that many cards right now, and they're still fairly early in the game, so taking board dominance could be very valuable here for Silver
That's right.
Arrow.
Oh yeah.
Especially since Axolotl as a 2/5 lifesteal is pretty hard to answer. Like it'll require the commitment of a couple cards to break through.
Yeah.
And
If
it
you
can
have
be
to hold-
3/6.
Answer.
Yeah, and it lets him just like keep free trading. And the sheer amount of lifesteal. If you want.
Honestly, I don't think Urban cares about that health too much in this matchup. Ada only has 10 cards like left in the deck. Urban
That's
can kind of go for a deck out burn, but also he's gonna need some special stuff to deal with Silver's top end because he's got Colossoid, the Beast, Titanic in there. He's got a nasty top end.
hmm
No! No!
Not the Axolotl.
What were you saying about axolotls going extinct?
I was gonna say don't extinct the axolotls in Sky too.
Yeah, speaking of that, axolotl's been a little weird since it went back down to 1 health. When it was at 2, it was occasionally just like a 1 mana 0/5 with banner.
Yeah.
But 1 mana 0/4 just doesn't have the same kick to it.
Yeah. I think Axolotl's still doing fine in the stats though.
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's just not a 1 mana 0/5 with banner.
It was a little bonkers though, honestly.
Oh yeah, the turn 1 you just go like Fox Familiar, Flashbang, Axolotl. Okay, deal with it.
Please
And
deal
then
with
they-
my like 2/11 plus banner on turn 1.
Yeah, and then you just die to AoE or something like Bad Dreams. Halcyon's going to be a little pesky to deal with here,
Yeah.
especially since he just gave away his banner. Ah, that was no.
And 1 mana
Sad.
3/4 is still a 1 mana 3/4, even if you had to pay 2
It's
extra
still a
mana.
1
Yeah.
Four. But Brimstone and Hellgeist are coming down on this turn, so not sure how we're going to deal with them.
Brimstone, Howlgeist, Poke, Ghost Duster with face to weaken it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Silver Arrow's just had a really awkward draw this game. He'd be doing a lot better if like Howlgeist had come off of Earwig.
He really should have kept the Skeeter and just gone Brimstone into Skeeter main turn 2. Because, like, look at this now. Brimstone has sat in his hand since turn 1 and hasn't really been a good play at all until now on turn 6.
Yeah, that's right.
He's been kind of slow as a result of that. He had to pop main off on Axolotl, which means that his Hellgeist is now like a 4-4 instead of a 5-5.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to use the lead goblet till now.
Yeah. Not enough mana to do everything. And it
Like
seems
before when
Silver-
he had Axolotl on board. He could have made it 3-6. Which would have been better
Yeah.
to deal with the other units.
Okay, this is looking much better for Urban now.
Yeah. He's still
Flames
not really
over.
developing a massive amount of pressure, though. It's just kind of rolling along here, so...
Ah, no, okay. Edgelord has been so long since, like, people have been playing it. But now lately, I've just been seeing it in so many things. Along with Wall of Dead, just immediate board presence. Urban does have Chop in the deck to deal with that, but it's a question of if he drew it.
Yeah.
And if he does play Chop here, well, one way or another, Silver is going to play a lot of Zomboids.
Silver's deck is also pretty fairly stacked. There's like 50-50 on good or bad draws, or like there's 2 bad draws and then suit up. And he doesn't even need a good draw this turn because he can just play like Colossoid or Wall.
Yeah. Frank? I'm not sure how good Frank is here.
You just slam Colossoid. Although then
Yeah.
you lose Mortal Blow next turn if Colossoid dies.
Mortal Blow will be important for dealing with things like Gemini and Geode.
The mana's just really awkward this turn, actually, for any play other than Colossoid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if Colossoid does die, that's 4 Zomboids that he can then pop. He can play Frank too. That'll be a solid play.
Yeah, you can go for Frank. Or zombies. Frank, and then Goblet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just
And
bury
if
them.
Colossoid doesn't die, you can Mortal Blow into Frank and just crash it into the enemy face. Or, like, trade over.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, you probably don't want to Mortal Blow Halcyon, actually, but... Ooh. Hey, look, we fixed Gatto. It's fair now.
Fair and Gatto balanced.
It's worst B unit. Well, actually, no. A 0-2 banner zap would actually probably still be good.
That would be very good. Are you kidding me?
All right, this is a little tricky here.
The armor is going to make it hard for Zomboids to do too much.
Yeah, I could see, though, Wall into Goblet.
Yeah. Wobble it.
Yeah, Wall into Goblet.
Next turn, Titanic is going to come online, and it's not in hand, but Urban doesn't know that, and it certainly could be.
Yeah.
Titanic is such a spooky card, because you can just end games with it.
Mm-hmm.
The lead may also be pretty helpful here, because it means that now Chop will not be silencing Colossoid before it dies.
The zombies don't square up that well against the armor units in terms of damaging them, but the armor units have low attack, and the zombies will pierce the armor enough to wither them down.
Yeah.
So, suffice to say, the armor units aren't too pleased to go into combat against the zombies, especially when the zombies are kind of chunky themselves.
Yeah. Going up to 2-3 really makes things hard to deal with.
Oh, no.
God.
Clean answer. Clean answer.
Smoosh.
Yeah, but now Urban takes 5 points of recoil for that.
Yeah. I'll pay 2 to clear the enemy board, though.
Main, main, glorious main, glorious main. Main! Let's go. Now, does that probably immediately get killed by Mortal Blow and then a Beast on curve? Perhaps. Gotta get the Gato in.
The mana, again, is just kind of awkward, because you can almost, like, suit up to try to get Titanic in sooner, but... Yeah. Or you could hit Grimstone, though, so...
I think Beast, Mortal Blow, kill a thing.
Yeah. I mean, your health is very fragile, but... Oh! This is actually okay. It guarantees that you have Titanic next turn. And if you hit Grimstone, then you can play it this turn. So either result, you're pretty happy. It's either bigger Titanic or immediate extra pressure with Grimstone. So that ain't bad. And you also, if they kill the Colossoid, you can develop the zombies. So I think this is fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like the health total is running so low that...
Gemini comes down, hypothetically, and if it does, that's a bit of hurt, because we're also looking at out-of-deck damage from Fate.
Yeah, I just don't know if Silver Arrow has enough time left before fatigue and chip damage gets to him at this point.
Electron's already come down, but we just saw Tempest Brew, and Andromeda hasn't.
Oy.
Coulter, would you like to give lifesteal to the zomboids?
Oh?
I've actually thought about certain cards that could summon zomboids with lifesteal, because that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that 1 damage can save him, right?
Oh,
These kind of situations.
That's lethal.
That's lethal. There we go. Urban.Nomad stealing it out from underneath with a perfect lethal, just barely getting in the burn damage before Titanic started to come down and just wreck stuff. Good play to both Silver Arrow and Urban.Nomad. That was an interesting game.
Yeah. I will say I think that Silver Arrow got a tiny bit unlucky throughout the game, just with the ordering of some of their draws was a little tough to deal with, so they navigated it and recognized when they needed to adapt their game plan, so kudos to them as well.
Yeah, he certainly didn't get the best draws, but I do still think a lot of that came down to his decisions in the early game, opting to play a risky Skeeter and allowing it to get killed.
Yeah.
So, Nomad can play it right now, because
Yeah.
he already won against 2. Now your team needs to decide who's gonna play next. We also have to do that.
Okay.
So just maybe for me and anyone at home, what's a quick refresher on the format? So we got one team's got 2 wins now, but I assume all 4 people on each team get to play, or how does that shake out?
Would you like to explain, Bacon, or shall I explain?
I need to strategize.
Alright. So, normally, at the previous Turf Wars, the format was each team had 5 players. They select random players to start. Then the guys face with each other. The one who wins the game stays on the board, and the other team choose another player to counter it. The winner has right to win against 3 players, eliminate 3 players, and then that players go to bench and another person replaces him. But today, since we have 4 versus 4, we have changed the rule, so they are able to eliminate on maximum 2 people. So Nomad managed to win against Grandpa first, then Silver Arrow. Now Nomad is going to bench, and the Foxfang will choosing another player.
And it just keeps going until one team has all their players eliminated?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So currently Foxfang has 2 players remaining, and Dog Pound has 3. Correct?
You've got that.
So let's see what's the team going to do. So Bacon, what's the situation with the Foxfang?
We are arriving at a conclusion, I think.
All right. We have chosen our player. So, since we're waiting, the players, let me tell you about the new upcoming event and show that image as well. On the 2nd of August, there will be a constructed tournament, again organized by Skyweaverleagues. There will be $100 of prize pool. It will be given as die. Our sponsors are Community Gaming, thanks to them. And we will be using a similar format as we did in the league. From 2nd till 6th, there will be group games. On 7th, quarterfinals. On an 8th, there will be finals. So to join, you can hop up to our server. The link is in the description. And you can send me a message or one of the channels that you want to join, and I'll sign you up.
Okay, we've got our player.
So, who's gonna play?
We're bringing Yotsuba, and he's going to be streaming.
Alright then.
So Yotsuba is bringing two very dichotomous decks. The first one is just like a Zam combo that he recently took all the way up to the #1 spot on the ranked ladder for constructed, which is quite an achievement, especially when you consider that that was post-nerf. And his other deck was one that I've only played against a few times, but it's kinda scared me. It's this really fun, like, Anima, Vapors, City aggro deck that also runs Bloodhunter, because if you're playing a Heart deck without Bloodhunter, what are you doing? Geenareeno, on the other hand, is bringing two of his main staples that we've seen from him in the leagues.
Yeah.
Bringing the new and improved Zoe deck, lots of fire cards in here, love to see them, along with Bloodhunter, and also a very spooky Aetherize deck that, if it gets going, is going to bring out some really hard to handle units.
There's also a question for Coulter from the chat. Delise is asking, are you following any kind of models in order to balance the game from other previously established card games, or just doing more of your own style?
I definitely look to other card games to think about how we balance our own, and I take inspiration from games like Hearthstone and Magic. One of the big inspirations I remember, just sort of like in how we weight our stats, is sort of the idea of a stat curve that, as seen in like Hearthstone, which in itself is a adaptation of the stat curve, like in terms of like how much stats each unit is allotted, where like a unit should generally get stats as a base, like vanilla unit like Clawbear, equal to like its cost +1, or its pool should be of stats should be equal to double its cost +1. Now Clawbear is not a good example because it gets like extra stats, but so something like
Emberwolf.
Emberwolf again gets more stats than its cost, because 1-drops tend to get that. But that's sort of like, you get stats maybe it's modified a little where it's like you get an effect plus stats equal to your cost plus 1, and depending on how strong the effect is, you might get less than that. And so in Clawbear's case, its effect is that it gets +1/+1. So it's got more stats than the average creature, basically. But for things like
average bear,
yeah,
also runs Blood Hunter because.
And so then for something like Doom Shroom, it's got 9 total stats when it probably should have 11, but it also has Wither and its damage dealing spread effect on death, which makes up for some of its lower than vanilla stat line. And it has Guard, so it's got several keywords and stuff to compensate. So it sort of works out like that. You trade like stat points for keywords or stuff like that, and that's sort of how you generally can weigh. But mostly, when it comes to our model, it's sort of just weighing it against what already exists, and that was part of the reason why a lot of 1-drops I nerfed recently, because it's like, yeah, weighing it against what already exists, these are better than most 2-drops, so we will tone them down a little bit to make things a little more fair. So yeah, generally it's sort of like just based around the environment around cards is how I tend to focus on them.
Yeah, that was a great explanation. Thank you for that.
No problem. Oh no, it's echoing back.
Oh, here
So,
we go.
still waiting them to find their games.
Something looks wrong with that screen.
Yeah.
Too dark. There we go.
Yep.
Looks like Yotsuba is bringing the Zam deck. This thing is going to be scary fast if it goes off. Or it could not, and he could just sit there for a couple turns.
Yeah.
And Geenareeno's brought the Zoe.
It's probably extremely true what Anti-Ben said, where Zam requires a ton of skill expression to really play it to its fullest potential.
Yeah, it does.
About the deck, because I do think there's definitely a ton of nuances to make sure the deck, because you're really running along the edge next to aggro, because not having many creatures means you don't have like things to guard with or even force them to trade into, so they can just always hit your face.
Yeah,
So
but
you
you
really
also
got-
get free card advantage from their removal spells. That Strike Down, that is a really good card, normally is dead in this matchup, so is Grim Reprisal.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You definitely do get an advantage in them having some dead draws, but those draws are in anticipation of you like playing units, which would slow them down otherwise. So if you're not playing units, then unless you make sure you have a really good, like you do have a good spell removal package, but unless you can leverage it really well and draw well enough into it, or guarantee you draw into it via knowing when to like push for more draws, they could just swarm you and beat you to death.
Of course, there is also the threat of removal spells that can operate outside of removing units, like Elderfall, Pair of Jacks, Catch.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of options aggro players have to use to get around that
Anything
issue.
that can go face.
Go
There's
face.
also some units here. Like you could use a removal spell to clear up a Firemander from Charkram or a Royal Mummy.
Yeah,
It's
it'd be
not-
a more efficient use of time than using your face with Banner, because that Banner just goes face. Crystal into a Karu, into draw. That is a lot of stats on turn 1. Yotsuba is going to say, "Ha, anyways," and just play Thought Leader, it seems.
It's not a lot of front-loaded power. It's more balanced stats, so it's not threatening a massive amount of damage instantly.
No. And maybe
Oh,
he's
yeah,
thinking
Mag.
that Crystal, he won't be able to confirm it next turn for the Vapors, which is going to be crucial to draw if he wants to be able to keep up in this game. Notably, Geenareeno could be dropping like a champ here.
Yeah, that'd do well.
Yeah, he's got Burning Blade, Fox Familiar. We see the Avatar in hand, which doesn't really do damage as much as it's just a sticky unit that's hard to deal with. Makes it pretty useful for things like Champ or Blood Hunter. Geenareeno is going to take the turn to draw. He's going to set up. Maybe he doesn't like his hand. maybe he's trying to set up some play on a future turn.
The moon started to speed up for a second, and I thought that he passed. I was like, oh no, not again!
Yes! Yes, again! So here's a fun one. It is turn 3, and Yotsuba is already down to 22 health.
Yeah.
Just
He also
much.
has Mag, though, and 3 1-cost spell in a hand, which can be discounted for an incredible amount of value.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I actually
know Fox
think this is
sweep. I'm trying to be
no,
fair.
this is a misplay. You chark face, and then, which is
Yeah.
what I think Yotsuba is thinking about. He sees it. You chark.
Oh.
If you chark face and then play the Mander, you can trade it. Unless, of course, you want to do something else. If he wants to save the Firemander. But if you're playing the Firemander, it would be better to chark face and then trade into the Ikaru, because you end up with 1 more health. Because you lose 1 to the Ikaru, but you heal 1.
I think looking at the deck and is looking at all of these 2 health units in here, and he wants to hold on to the Firemander. Or he
he already attacked. Never mind. That was fine then. He already swung.
Okay. It's an interesting Firemander.
Yeah, it seems like Sphinx Mask might have been better. Does this deck run Prismata? I'm just trying to think what... Also, I guess, no, actually, the Firemander's fine here, I think, because I think what he's thinking is that Sphinx Mask will cause his 0 as soon as his next turn rolls around.
I think Sphinx Mask he kind of just wants to hold on to for the Zam play, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Or just
I think
float out of it with Turn the Tide, just deck thinning. I'm not sure.
Ooh, that's a good combo there. Max value. Establishing a board. It's fairly hard to answer. Cube. It's a very good way to cheat Cube there, because it can't increase the cost of Eldritch Lore. Although Eldritch Lore also can't be discounted by Magnanimous, so it comes out 1-to-1.
PEMDAS.
Definitely looking like a good mix here, although there's nothing left to dual boot.
There's the Electron that you can dual boot.
Oh, does he run Electron?
Yeah, this is the metal spiky one.
Makes sense.
Although sometimes I think people prefer to hold on to dual boot and try to mulligan Zam back.
Committing a fair number of resources to clearing there.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage that he just gave up.
And Junior could potentially have converted attack power on Zoe into health, or allowed it to trade over Magnanimous more easily with a shield from Avatar, so...
Yeah.
Ooh,
Fire Rune on Avatar is not fun.
Yeah, I think it just depends on if Zoe's can trade over Mag with her face. I wonder what he's got in hand. His hand is already full, but he seems to be thinking really hard. I wonder if he's got like some laking cards or awkward stuff like Blood Hunter in there that maybe for awkward plays.
Would appear Electron is not in the stack.
Maybe he just heard what I said. You gotta... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, even if the rest of your head is junk, you have that Burning Blade at minimum. You gotta play that. Whisk, yep. Buy-in time. Eldritch.
Mad value card.
Ooh.
Turn the
Oh,
Tide.
that's turn. Now, there are definitely some options here. I can set up for a big Zam play in like 2 turns, but can you wait that long, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, there's absolutely no option in deck that I'm seeing that can overwrite that. The joys of open deck list. You know that play is safe.
Just watch, he'll somehow out of deck
Flame volley.
deep slice. Constructed All-Star Flame Volley, which the community unanimously loves. Right?
Yes. Yes, it's such an incredible card. You spend your entire turn to do 2 damage on the next turn.
I mean, your opponent does have to pay 2 to remove the flames from their face, so that's honestly kind of why it costs as much as it does.
Every time I've gotten hit with Flame Volley, I've just let the flames sit there because I do not care about that damage. I'm playing agility. I'm ready to win with 2 HP anyways.
I was just thinking, please tell me that they didn't forget the blood moon cost increase.
The classic weakness
actually
of
not even that, it's not that bad. Oh boy.
We refuse to read cards.
Oh jeez.
No, I'd play key. I'd play key second. Play the key second.
I mean, you get +1 damage off the forge, so there is an argument here.
You would get 2 damage from playing key
Oh, this
second.
is actually extremely awkward. Unless I'm missing something. This is actually really tricky because, well, maybe not. You can probably get there because you're gonna mulligan into some stuff with Candy Mask, but like you almost didn't get there because turn needs your mana to be empty.
Yeah,
so if he somehow whiffs,
yeah.
No, he's got it. Okay.
Yeah. He's got it. Yeah, take out that armor. Don't play take root. No.
That would have been bad.
That would have been very uncool. Oh, right. Okay. Okay, now let's get rolling. Pretty sure you out of deck Seer Mask here. Think twice. No, it's dual boot first. Yasuba, just keep your turn alive. Just keep the turn.
Oh jeez.
Is this lethal?
Quite possibly. Jeez, it never ceases to amaze me just how goofy this is. It just gets there somehow.
You just have to believe in the deck.
Like, this is probably nice to watch for you guys now, but not for me.
I've been complaining about this deck. I've said this deck is busted. Y'all don't listen. Coulter listens. He nerfed it some, but they're like, no, this is fine. This is fine. Turn 6 lethal. Fine.
Wait, did he just mess up? No, wait, he's got to think twice. Okay, I was like, did he just punt? Like,
Oh my god.
Geenareeno just gets brutalized by the turn 6 mag combo.
Wow.
Okay, I'm
there's definitely some ways that we can adjust this further. But, I mean, next time we'll see it where the deck just bricks completely. Or something. Maybe.
I wonder.
I can't believe that it's like actually after all this time, after all the numerous nerfs to Zam, it just got even faster than it was when it won on like turn 9. Like people worked out.
Before, nobody was figuring out that you could lure into Turn the Tide to basically bank 5 mana for the next turn, and you draw and you refill.
Yeah.
I think when
that's
figured that out.
Yeah. That's like some of the amazing stuff with Skyweaver, that people just work out things that like even after all this time the community still didn't figure out, and then someone like thinks really hard and comes up with something new and the whole metagame just gets flipped on its head.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was gonna get salvage, but he'd already discounted his deck.
Yeah. I was also thinking it could be a 50-50. But nope, Yotsuba just had it in his head. He knew what was going on.
Someone's replaying the stream in the stream again.
Yeah, it's Yotsuba. Mute that, please. I do not need to hear my own voice. I get enough of it, thanks.
Just a second. Yeah, he's muted.
Oh my god.
Um,
That's a fat rip. I feel so bad for Geenareeno. Like, of all the Dog Pound players, I really like Geenareeno. He always just shows up with, like, these really honest...
Sorry, my apologies. Can you mute Yotsuba's stream or something? Just because I can't tell who's speaking and what is Yotsuba's stream.
Yeah, I muted it on my end. Let me...
Oh, I'll just mute it. Oh, sorry.
Well, it might be coming through on Zygote.
There we go. I was just, as long as it's not coming through the stream feed.
Yeah. Yeah, Geenareeno generally shows up with, like, these interesting, fair, just, like, unit-based strategies. And then we bring out somebody like Yotsuba, and it's like, okay, what if you perished on turn 6?
Bacon, we can use the second deck twice, right? That's the rule, if I'm remembering correctly.
What, the best of 3?
No,
So-
like they have right to choose their second deck and go again. So, two-person can do that, right?
Yeah, if you call your best of 3 here, yeah, Geenareeno can go up again. He'd be swapping to his Aether Rise deck, and Yotsuba would have to stay on his deck.
Then when Shpungo takes his turn, he can use his second deck also again, right? It should be
you
like
either
that.
have to call your best of 3 either now or never. You only have 2 players left, but you can't like call somebody for a best of 3 later on. It's like a grudge match basically. Like, no, I can win this. Let me swap to my better deck, and then like you call a best of 3.
Nope, nope, nope. I'm not saying that. Just give me a second to confirm that.
Yeah. Yeah, Unjust in the chat. What a fun and interactive game. Unjust, that was very interactive.
Like,
You have to actually like have some tough decisions there, like Scorch and the going all in on removing that Cube Junior. But
Yeah, I do think that the game was still very interesting, even if it did end in a kind of, I mean, it was climactic, but maybe anticlimactic for the opponent. I think there was still a lot of decisions on both sides, and I do wonder if maybe even Geenareeno got kind of a bum hand, because it seemed like a lot of the cards in his hand he didn't want to play for quite some time.
yeah.
He seemed to be kind of hesitating on that turn where he floated one and just played Fox or Flame Blade,
Burning Blade.
Burning
used to-
Blade, yeah.
The superior like Firefox, but then you guys had to change it for reasons that are wholly beyond me.
so I went down to the rules, and the rules are saying that this option can only be used twice for each team. So Geenareeno can go again. Then when if Shpungo got defeated, he can choose to do it again, play again.
Yep.
Alright then, Geenareeno is going.
Alright, we got our first grudge match here. Geenareeno, he wants his revenge. He's whipping out the Aether Eyes now.
Imagine both of these decks are combo decks, so it'll be very interesting to see sort of what they do. Because I can imagine the Aether Eye. When you're saying Aether Eyes, do you mean Aether Whale or Aether Rise? Yeah, it's Ancient's Rise and Aether Whale. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Imagine this should be pretty interesting because Zam can push out a lot of damage, but if it like clears an Aether Whale board using its combo, and then it just gets Ancient's Rises after that, it could be bad. So
Yeah.
basically, it's 2 people are gonna flex at each other as hard as humanly possible, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah. Okay, this looked like a very good hand for Yotsuba. Turn 1 a light, turn 2 take Root Mask. Just get drawing. You're only taking Waterline here, so you don't draw it later. Oh. Thought Leader is gonna make this curve a little interesting. It will cost reduce the roots on hand though, so that's fun.
It's interesting to see. I guess it's Aether Rise. Yeah, I wonder what you have more redundancy or backup plans, but you don't have like the speed of like Banjo Ether Whale, where you could draw using Seek to find Ether Whale and discount it.
Yeah, which is just stupid. Turn 6 Ether Whale. Very interactive.
I don't know about turn 6 even. I think you could do it turn 4 if you kept your flask. Just Seek on 3 mana and then...
Orchid and Rosewater, because all of the mana ramp, like, janky cards are all in the same prism. I've seen Geenareeno, he was on Titus Ether Whale using, like, Polar Bear, but I've seen him, like, rip, like, a turn 4 before, and I have bad memories.
Yeah, I've seen Titus decks that actually be doing great lately in the rankings, and I think it's probably like some certain specific kinds of decks, but Titus heavy hitters is pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
I saw one that wasn't even running Ether Whale. It was running like all the high end and stuff, but no Ether Whale.
Oh, yeah, that's a deck that Unjust actually brought. We are dubbing it Titus Removal Pile. The basic game plan is like you kill all of the things and then you win because you play Titanic and they have 2 cards.
Seems legit.
Yotsuba seems to be stroking his hand. Okay, not sure what that's going to achieve, but that's certainly something.
He's wishing for a better draw. He's rubbing it for good luck. Gives better draws.
Gotta rub the hand for good luck. Okay.
All Wiz players do it. I guarantee we can see Geenareeno, but he's doing it too behind his screen.
See, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Tell you what, he got the cost reduction on Maggie Boy again, so he can definitely get that doubling cube off next turn if he wants to. He might end up overdrawing, but if he overdraws Zam, he can dual boot into Zam, so I'm not sure how bad that would be.
No, this looks like they're gonna flex though. I mean, I hope it would be a real interesting game. It looks like Geenareeno is gonna flex right back with Ether Whale next turn, because that was an Orchid and he has a lot of cards in hand. So I would not be surprised to see Ether Whale come right back.
7 mana. 7 mana. He can play or Ether Whale if it was cost reduced.
It would be, because Orchid gives effectively -2 to the cost, and it'll be on like 6 naturally. Because it was +1 mana next turn, plus -1 cost on the Ether Whale.
Yep.
Show me Ether Whale.
We'll see. He's opting to not overdraw the Zam here. See, I was thinking he could do something with dual boot next turn.
He can also Eldritch Lure, since he's already got the an Eldritch and like a Canny Mask.
He probably wants to
this
try.
deck actually probably may have even been improved last time due to the fact that Eldritch can now draw your 0-cost spells, so you can play it on 0. So it adds more, like 4 extra damage to his own combo. Yeah, here we go. Have at you.
Go to jail. Yeah, this is illegal. The -1 max mana, I'm not sure how that's going to play here. Because I think that Yotsuba wants to be holding on to his mana. See, I've always been kind of curious about Volcanic Potion as, like, is that a card that you want to play?
If you don't rely on high mana cards, it's not a bad card to use. Slows down the enemy.
Could definitely Eldritch Lore into Soul Forge, and then next turn he can combo off.
Oh.
Okay, dual boot will hit.
Oh yeah, that's true. He can just overdraw Zam.
Yeah, and he's got the right mana in hand to get off Turn the Tide. was gonna say this while it's appropriate. Amaruaf is such a cool card. Just like it.
It's hard to dislike a giant dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the safer play there.
You don't want to Wind Weave, because if you lose Turn the Tide, that could cost you this game. And he just lost Turn the Tide. Oops. He can get it back, but he's only got so many draws to do that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't actually see that. Yeah, he because Dual Boot drew Zam and it wasn't like Soul Forge. Yeah, it got kind of messed up.
He has to hydrate now if he wants to play on this turn. Unless he can sink twice into Seer's Mask and he's willing to play both of those.
Look at this. Look at what's happening. He's just like, his brain is going 400 miles an hour trying to play like the incredibly complicated turn out here. Oh, jeez.
Here we go. Here we go.
The animations are going to be his downfall.
Turn the Tide.
Oh my god. The animation timer.
Plays are
Oh
too
God,
powerful. It
that's
crashed my
terrible.
Discord. What did I miss? Oh my god, where did everything go?
Have you ever seen the gif of Tom the cat from Tom and Jerry building a train track while he's on a cart that's going along it?
Oh my god.
That's what YotSuba's doing here with the turn timer.
It's like, screw you. Screw your cat. Screw your dog. Screw your cow. I have lethal. I am taking lethal.
And he's not gonna get lethal this turn. He like physically can't, but he's certainly doing some impressive stuff.
Do you mean
He's doing
physically
a
as in the
lot
card
of
as, or
damage.
as in actions per minute? Because actions per minute, I think YotSuba can do it. Faith.
What the heck is that? He like decked the
didn't have-
Prismata? With B unit and play.
If he does, okay, but the threat that Geenareeno doesn't even know. If the B unit or Zam lives, it's kind of lethal. Oh my god. Gonna consult the chat here. Shpungo talking about the purposeful overdraw. Oof, that's probably a GG next turn after the E for whale. Oh god.
That ancient rise was perfect.
Well, there's the rise.
This is dicey. You can go for Zam. Oh man, he has mana from Rosewater banked. Eek. That does feel kind of like GG.
Man.
He has a limited number of spells here, though.
Yeah.
He only has these 4, so I think he might gutter out. He can't like whisk away anything.
He can whisk away the B.
That doesn't seem like the ideal play.
The ideal play is far beyond our comprehension here. You just have to believe.
You whisk the Firemander and just pray to God that what's its face lives.
He can actually clear.
Oh,
Yeah, he
that
wants to
can't-
draw.
Man, that just can't be right. Whisking the
No!
bee.
No. Oh my.
I was
You
like,
could
you
have
whisk
drawn
the
the
Firemander.
turn.
Because
Bee
if
into
the bee
Prismata.
or Zam survives, which they probably won't, to be fair. His opponent was in a pretty good position there.
No.
Yeah, that was
God.
very tricky, but props to Geenareeno for managing to clutch it out there. That was very, very a nail biter there.
Yeah.
I actually forgot that Menglong was in there. Geenareeno might have been more comfortable if he hit Jakintsu off of the Ancients. That's really cool, though. I've often thought that you could make a very cool Axel Ether Whale deck specifically because of Ancient's Rise. So it's very cool to see it there.
Yeah, I'm messaging Yotsuba. He accidentally overdrew that turn the tide. Yeah.
Did he have other options?
I'm not sure. He probably could have just thrown out a spell first.
Possibly. Although then, if he spent even 1 mana, would he not have... But that...
Yeah,
was...
he wouldn't have had the mana to hit it
Yeah.
either.
I gotta say, though, didn't he salvage that turn? Like, the turn where he threw out the turn the tide, didn't he... He still got to the turn the tide and played, like, his whole friggin' deck. That was the turn where he was, like, building the train track as it was collapsing or whatever. As he was running out of time, he, like, managed to create time through playing fast enough to catch up. So it was a misplay, but he recovered in an incredibly impressive fashion. So honestly, I have to say that that's one of the most exciting games of Skyweaver I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, certainly.
Even if it seems like the Zam deck is very powerful right now, but I have to say,
waxy.
a real
That bit?
photo finish there at the end.
Yeah, even with his limited resources, he still cleared how much health with like just a Zam play on turn 10. It was
That wasn't even turn 10, was it? It was like
no.
turn. This game was
Turn
over. Like
6 for ramping.
he had 10 mana, but that was because he played Rosewater. It was only like his 8 mana turns, so and he ramped as well. So that was like turn 7 for him.
Yeah, isn't Gift of Aya isn't in the Sam deck?
Bacon.
You guys decided on...
Yeah, we've got the next person. It will be the Unjust.
Ooh, so Yotsuba is not choosing a second deck.
Yeah, Anti-Benz is saying in the chat, Timer versus Yotsuba 1-0. Yeah. Perhaps with more of a turn timer there, Yotsuba could have pulled it out. Calculate their plays. Do you guys want Geenareeno or Unjust to stream?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Tom. Here, I'll post it.
Let me ask them who wants to stream.
Okay.
So, Unjust will be streaming. Unjust will be playing Titus Ilgul deck. Yotsuba is saying that please don't use that game as evidence that Zam is balanced.
No, I definitely. I am pleased to see that someone did well, but that's definitely not what I'm taking away. Beyond, no. I got a good thing for the meme mayhem channel in Skyweaver though. That was the thing I was thinking of while Yotsuba was fighting the turn timer.
Yeah. I'm going to go post in beta suggestions right now. Nerf Zam. And Geenareeno. Thanks. And here we go.
That's
We've
a
got
paradox.
a very-
We'd have to buff Zam to make Geenareeno retroactively lose the game. So if Zam just dealt 3 damage, he would have lost. Fun fact, Zam
Yeah.
used to deal 3 damage.
Oh,
Fun fact, Zam used to be capable of copying with, like, illusion.
oh
and
yeah.
would just do, like, 40 damage per spell. You could copy, like, and have 3 of them on board, very cheap.
Yeah. Buffing Zam way back when was part of my attempt to, like, which I think succeeded by and large, to like restore some of Int's identity, because Int at one point, like, most of its combos had been so nerfed that, like, it couldn't do them anymore, like, even theoretically. But yeah.
You know, things that we should bring back in 2021 while we're here? Rave beats. Return it. Now, please. I beg.
I mean, I actually don't know. Like, Rave beats, I don't know. Maybe just Rave as a whole is not good enough to run, but, like, the Rave beats combo costs 1 less mana than it used to and does 2 less damage, which, like, in theory, like, with just the Rave plus the dead beats, is 7 mana, deal, like, 9 damage, I guess.
But it wasn't good as a standalone combo before. What was good was its ability to scale with your board. It's the fact that, like, if you have a Halcyon on board, suddenly that became an extra 2 points of damage. If you had literally any board, that was where the actual explosive damage came from, and that was, like, what made it so good. But now that...
I mean, I feel like agility and strength aggro decks, even if they may not be the strongest in the highest level of play, have still been doing really well in the stats. Like, they're still, again, outperforming stuff like Zam, so...
Coulter, my win rate is only, like, 73%. It's not... No. It needs help.
Literally unplayable. Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's like aggro decks are more powerful for new players, so we do have to always consider that balance. Plus, when aggro is too strong, it means that, like, creativity is heavily stifled. And Zam, I would almost... Like, Zam definitely will... Like, I'm not saying any particular cards. I think that the deck as a whole may...
Oh, what is this garbage?
What's happening?
Use it to rail.
Look. Plays card. Literally broken.
Oh, Etherwell. I mean, the board is answered. I will point out that half of that, like, 2/3 of that is deleted here.
No,
Yeah,
Enshipra gonna give him 7
We
HP.
specifically chose Unjust for the express purpose of his deck is entirely and
Did
exclusively...
Libra actually heal him?
No, he used gift.
No,
Gift
it didn't.
Avaya.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Give
So,
it back.
so he got like 15 worth of stats, which is powerful, but he had to build his whole deck around it, so it doesn't seem that unreasonable. Like, most of it got answered there. But yeah,
Yeah.
cool stuff.
Looks like Unjust is willing to wait to
Yeah.
let him spend the mana on the roots.
Oy.
Or
How did Waking Dream get discounted? I guess.
Thought Leader, I presume. And we are now at 19 health.
Yeah.
Anyways, strike down Waterline. Next.
Probably Scorch Waterline.
You mean Incinerate?
Oh, it's Incinerate, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I knew
might
what the names
wanna
of cards are.
strike down Hydrex was in the deck.
This is really a clash of the titans, I think. Although I wonder if
When I think dynamic gameplay, this is what I think of.
high mana gameplay. Yeah. I mean, I will say that things don't go to out of deck nearly as often with all these high powered, like, mid-rangey. Like these kinds of decks are honestly kind of like, people have asked, what does mid-range looks in Skyweaver? Kind of like this. Like, this is like Ether Whale, I've always thought was like a mid-range deck. It aims to, like, power spike really hard in the mid-game and finish people off then with curving into 7 and 8 drops. Like, that's kind of what mid-range is. Like, it's not really control because it's not aiming to grind the opponent out. It goes on the offensive. So I think that Ether Whale is a very mid-range deck. Like, both of these feel fairly mid-rangey-ish. Perhaps the Geenareeno's deck more so than Unjust, which is a little more defensive.
Yeah.
But I'd say both of these
Which
fall
is-
within the purview of what I'd consider mid-range.
Yeah, this is something we've talked about a lot in the community, is our definitions for how we're actually going to define things as mid-range in this game. Because Skyweaver just fundamentally plays so different from, like, a lot of other card games, with, like, how your hero attacks, like,
Yeah.
the mechanics of it, Flask. So, like, actually honing down what mid-range is has been something that a lot of us have had debates over.
Like in Skyweaver, late game starts earlier than the other games, in my opinion. So it's hard to
Skyweaver
define.
late games, it's like 8.
Yeah.
Aggro doesn't usually win until, like, turn 8 also.
I mean, that's probably a pretty healthy place to be, honestly. Like, Token Druid and Hearthstone can kill you on, like, turn 4. If the aggro kills you turn 7, 8, that's healthier than, like, turn 5, 6, which I think it could at some points with,
Yeah,
like...
because you actually get to play a game in that instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, not asking for Hearthstone balance. Yes, what if we patch our game once every 4 months and we change 2 cards?
Mhm.
Incredible strategy.
I do like to see Comet getting some love, though. I like Comet. He's a fun guy.
Comet is cool. Just categorically, any dragon is cool, but Comet is a cool card. It's a lot better now that Sunder got nerfed.
Now that what? Oh, Sunder. I heard
Yeah.
Scooter and Skeeter at the same time, but you actually said Sunder.
Yeah.
Sunder is
Sunder
also still doing very well, if anyone's ever wondering. So I was actually thinking maybe people are right, and it's good to have answers to stuff like the Beast. But then I looked at the stats, and Sunder was still like much beloved, even in the past things. So I was like, well, Sunder's fine. it's doing okay for itself.
Sunder is still like an auto include for pretty much any strength deck just because of what it does.
Mm-hmm.
I would just rather have like those checks against things like the Beast and Sworn Oni being Courage. It's like,
yeah.
What,
I mean, it's
the
still
Dream Dragon.
bulldozes Sworn Oni. The Beast, you might have to take 6, which does suck, but it does still almost get there.
True.
Did he have 3 metal cards?
No, he didn't.
Okay, I was just like, I guess just it eliminates 4 health or whatever. So
Hey, wait, would Geode work with Light Ranger for that 1 extra point of health?
it might. I'm not sure. I think that Light Ranger might look at the actual cost of the spell when it draws it. Or what I mean to say actual, like the base spell. But, or like, it doesn't look at the base spell, but it looks at the cost of the spell in the deck as it draws it, not the cost once the spell is attached. So I'm not sure. I will say I do like that this deck is putting into practice the Light Ranger idea, where the light spells in your deck are like just 10 and 9 mana. So the card is just like a better Jakinsu, almost. It's like it gives massive healing output. Ooh. Oh, that's fine though. He has Unstoppable Chop to slice through it, so.
Removal.
Or he could also just touch. Oh, never mind. It's still not terrible because he can actually still like kill it once and then chop it. So he's still got an out, but he can't like touch the sky and just plow into his opponent's head.
That was a misplay.
Maybe. Yeah, it does seem kind of questionable. So now
Well,
you go.
Well, unless he's touched Sky on Hydra.
He can still get there. He's got enough.
Oh wait, that probably just.
He's got
That
enough.
probably
He
just
can. Yeah, he can stench, strike, crisp to get rid of it. If that's even necessary. Does he still have 8 cards left?
He may not, but he does want to get rid of that, so that way it doesn't come back with Ancient's Rise.
Yeah. I wonder if that was tactical. I mean, it's better to dust.
Maybe it was killing the Geode first, so that way you could curve that out.
Yeah, I think killing Geode may have been necessary to hit the exact mana break points you needed.
Yeah. Light Ranger is now just going to rip Invest.
Which is its own, has its own charms.
Oh.
We touch in the sky, boys.
I don't know if we want to rip that yet, but I'm not sure what the better alternative is.
I guess you can...
Can't see what's in his deck. I need to pull up his deck.
I don't know if you... Yeah, you gotta think about what you can... You need to somehow do 2 damage to Hydrax. So that you can Wrath it away. Yeah, I don't hate this. In 2 turns, you can Burninate plus cause Wrath to, like,
That
mop
hurts.
up. So as long as he doesn't Ancient's Rise this turn, he should be okay. And even if he does Ancient's Rise, he might be able to Burninate and fish for something with Eldritch Lore. Or Burninate into Salvage and still get a partial clear. I mean, if
Steel.
it's just like Penglong and some other middling health
He
units.
played Steel already. Geenareeno, not sure what he's going to be doing here. His deck doesn't run like any Grave Roll or anything, so once he's out of stuff, he's out of stuff. And that was generally our plan to beat him. But he does have Ancient's Rise somewhere in there.
Here's kind of a tricky position where I'd be
Amaru
checking my deck to see what Eldritch Lore can grab, I think. Like, so what do we got here?
we
It's
got
Steel, dude.
Sunder. I'm not.
Yeah, he could get Sunder if he plays.
I would have actually just played Giza, Light Ranger, Invest there.
Let's get
Invest
Sunder.
is my. Well, yeah, but now how is he going to answer Ancient's Rise? He needs either Seal or Titanic. I guess he does still have both of those in his deck, so...
He already used Touch the Sky, so he's sort of getting low now, but his opponent's getting low too, and he does have Cause Wrath, so... I don't know what died for Ancient's Rise, because a lot of the enemy units have been dusted, but I guess Amaruath just died, so that'll be bad if it comes back.
Yeah, Glacial Tomb is in this deck too.
Ooh.
That would res Amaruath. Or if not, Amaruath and Dream Dragon.
Giza doing work here, because he's like, do I want to kill this?
Okay, well now...
Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. Boop. Good to see Giza's guard doing work.
Ah, no. Coulter, can you just remove Whisk away from the game? It's so gross. It's so gross.
At least it doesn't cost 1 anymore. It cost 1 at some point, and it was very mean.
At least.
I will say that Unjust does have a lead in fatigue here, which is good. It's less deep into his
Yeah.
deck.
Honestly, Unjust knows this stage of the game a lot better than I do. I'm used to having, like, Horic Grave Royal, okay, Titanic 2, Titanic 3. I don't have to think about being here. But
I was gonna say, I wonder
really
if
don't like
Reno
how
Reno
Unjust
is running Undragon, but I guess he's not, because that would clog the
No,
grave,
it's
potentially.
not. Waterline for Light Ranger, it's not an ideal play. Oh, no, wait. He's dusted.
You know what?
So much
Unjust
stuff
should
that
have
he's only
attacked
Ooh.
attacked Light Ranger first with his face and just taken 4 damage, because Libra would have healed him because he would have dropped below, or not Unjust. Geenareeno should have attacked Light Ranger with his face. It would have healed him more. So he would have dropped his health to the point where Libra would have healed him.
Okay. Issue. Ill Will and Seal of Doom don't seem to agree with each other.
Also, Amaruath doing what he always does and really messing with math.
Yeah. Not a fan of this. That Whisk Away just completely changed the tempo of this game. Because what would have been a very easy Titanic play now is not happening.
He could have gone for Jakinsu and Sunder with Eldritch Lore to clear the dragon.
And there's the Giza. Ah, Whisk Away is so good. He can probably use the roots to get down to 4.
Does he even need to get down to 4? I feel like 4 is the highest cost left. Unless there's something I'm forgetting. Like I've looked at.
There's Aya.
Honestly,
yeah.
why did he
Oops.
not? Why did he not like remove and then grab Gift of Aya, which would have drawn Aether Whale? Because he also has Miss Aya in deck, and that could have been like Aether Whale into Miss Aya into Gift of Aya. This is going to be very close.
Oh, geez. Or no, wait. Yeah, this is something.
No Titanic? Screw. Titanic. He needs to.
I was
He can get
thinking that
Gift
like because of
Aya.
the Amaruath would block Titanic, but he doesn't because of the timing of play effects versus summon effect.
Play or a summon. That's the order. Titanic works. Unjust? What?
Maybe he doesn't know that. I think he must not have known that. It's a very kind of... It's something I honestly might look into at some point, but yeah, maybe that he didn't know that because it is a little unintuitive, which is a little bit of a shame.
Fun fact for new players: if you're ever unsure of whether or not a play works, if you hover it, the display will show you what will happen. It is a it like simulates what will happen in the game engine, so it will tell
I'm
you.
pretty
with
sure it doesn't do that with
accuracy.
summon effects, though, or at least it used to not.
No, it works because it'll display the kill thing. It doesn't work when random things get involved, like draws.
I really thought that it couldn't read past summon effects, but maybe that changed. There was a point where we were discussing it. I was discussing the logic with Ari, and we were talking about how like summon effects could not be read by the state, and so it couldn't preview what happened during a summon effect, like after a unit was summoned. But it can preview play effects because they happen as part of the process. But that may have since changed.
Wait, why he's searching for a game?
Yeah. And we are going
Something.
for one of our best of 3 now, by the way.
So
We're calling it best of
Geenareeno
3.
can't play anymore because he defeated 2, right?
Oh. Yeah, he
We want to get Yotsuba now against Unjust, so we have to replace him with
Geenareeno
Shpungo.
has to swap out. Unjust will be with that.
So I suppose Unjust will playing his second deck.
Yep. This is a variant, kind of armory style deck.
So Shpungo seems also ready. Asking who's going to stream.
Yeah. So we are just waiting on Shpungo. Anti-Ben's just saying the game is too hard, we need to make more vanilla cards. How about, hypothetically, no.
I don't
Just wanna
actually
put that out
mind
there.
that idea. I think it is useful for newer players, but it is a bit tricky to design compelling vanilla cards.
Counterpoint. Get good.
So Mira versus
No,
Panjo.
this game is competitive only. You are not allowed to have fun playing.
So we may see that Zam turns again.
Shpungo is bringing his Zam list. Unjust is on something similar to what Urban was playing. It's kind of weird. We really weren't expecting to, like, bring all these armor decks. It kind of just happened. But we'll see.
Armor is good. Coulter, 21. It was the only mechanic
Not gonna
that
lie,
numerous other mechanics had to
last
change to accommodate.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, Unjust did throw this together last minute. He was complaining to me about having to build 2 decks. So, we will see how this goes.
Unjust has a really nice hand, except removal.
Not having removal, as Bacon alluded to earlier, may actually be a benefit here, considering the fact that the opposing side is not super likely to play units.
Yeah, that's right.
Except for Mag, so...
Sorry, I'm back.
No problem.
Jeez. This is a lot of board and Zam, or not Zam, Mag on turn 4, is it?
Yep.
Of course. Unjust is just holding a lot of units.
More armor!
Bro, it's only armor. What more do you need? What more are you asking for? No, I would keep that banner alive.
Yeah, it's all this. It's similar to when Zam comes down.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to note that paradoxically, the speed that Zam goes at also allows it to go faster. Like, that sounds silly, but it's because it knows it can move so quickly, it allows it to strip out, like, defensive tools that it otherwise would require to stay alive versus aggro decks and run just even more gas.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's crazy. You know what we haven't seen any of today?
What?
We haven't seen any fox.
Oh, that's right.
Curious.
I mean, he's
Perhaps
still the most played hero statistically, so I have trouble shedding tears for Fox, personally. But when he's the most played hero across.
I have no clue what you were talking about.
But that may just be solely Bacon inflating the numbers.
It could just be that he's the coolest hero, so like you don't mind losing on Fox because you played Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Guys.
For a second, look at he's pointing at Beetle, and it's like, no, don't point at Beetle now.
The axolotl lives.
Ah, jeez. I have a bad feeling.
Yeah, I feel Zam might be coming out.
Nah, well, maybe.
Watch Touch the Sky happen.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this looks like a Touch the Sky setup because he seeked after his deck was discounted. And I was like, it feels like Touch the Sky for, like something is coming down, but...
I know, like, there's a good number of games where Touch the Sky isn't 7 costs. But when it is, that is just the most unfair thing. Oh, it's not even in the deck. No, he got either Dual Boot or Turn the Tide. Tell you what, one of the biggest ways that Zam got nerfed was that Dual Boot moving up to 5 cost. Because now it means that you don't seek into Turn the Tide guaranteed. So you don't just get the extra mana. Like when you do it with Mag, you have a 2 cost Turn the Tide that then sets you up to 5 mana and refills your hand. With a lot of value. Do you guys think Unjust has like his phone wallpaper set to Beetle or something? Because he seems to really like that card.
He's not using it as a profile image.
Is the hold the door play. I wonder if Zam was in his hand and he's desperately trying to get it back in his deck here.
Probably.
And if he just drew it, which the delay seems to be implying.
The odds of drawing it again after the mulligan, not helpful for him.
He's got like better than 50% to draw, or roughly about exactly 50%, give or take like 5% to redraw Sam.
With Candy Mask, it would have been 6 draws plus a 1-cost spell. So
yeah, and he drew the 1-cost spell from deck, so he drew 6 of 13 cards, and then a 1-cost card, so like 45%-ish, roughly.
I'm glad I'm friends with nerds who can do this math in real life.
I'm not doing the math properly, I'm just guessing. Oh, it is the Electron build.
No, I've got like engineering friends who are like looking at my hand and they're like, okay, so you know, like if I just get out this geometric calculator, I do not care. I do not care about your geometric calculator. And you're like, but you have such and such. I do not care. Coulter, do you have one of those like in house?
Well, we're going deep here, but Armor's just gonna stuff this pretty hard. I think it's gonna.
Shpungo's like, all right, we're gonna have to get a little creative here.
I actually think that just pointing the Zap's face is better here because the damage that you heal off of the Zaps is less than the health you lose from Oni hitting you in the face. Like if you just like dealing 7 to Oni when it can only deal 3 to you rather than just dealing 7 to the enemy hero or whatever and healing yourself. It's a very impressive Electron strat. This actually
might have stayed alive this turn.
Yeah, this is actually dicier than it looks. Is he? Oh, I think he's dead. Oh, no, maybe not.
Jeez.
That may have just put him out of range. I'm thinking
No,
if that
no.
Elderwood is going to deal 1 damage to him.
Yeah, he could have attacked the Elderwood, gear grinded on the Electron, and then gone face with Beetle and stuff. But now that
Yeah.
mummy is there, just
Yeah,
not
the
enough.
mummy is saving the day here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Plan B now needs to go into effect. He needs to kill both of those Electrons.
He can definitely clean up at least 2 of them, but even 1 is kind of scary with Zam.
Yeah, but he's already played a lot of his spells. I'm not sure how much burn he'll have left.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't kill the tree yet, though. We can save that burn damage for later.
That's true. I would have killed the tree right away because I see 1 point of damage, but it's very true that it's probably better to pick off the mummy or even the Firemander.
I would have probably gone for the Firemander, although I can see an argument for the mummy.
Yeah.
You gotta take into account the out-of-deck Prismata, of course. Which is statistically not rare in this tournament. Oh
Oh,
god.
boy.
Finally, we're seeing it.
Don't tell me. Don't do this to me. You don't have it. There's no way. You've got out of deck.
Electron Zam.
You've already played everything. You don't have it. Insomnia. Coulter, you were saying?
Maybe Insomnia's win rate is bolstered solely by Zam decks.
Only when because they out of deck the card.
I don't think the stats actually take that into account, so.
Oh, something is out of deck?
Oh god, it's hacks!
Wow. Yeah, we need to live here. We need to not die. Sunder on the Electron?
I was thinking it almost seemed like there was an out for lethal here.
On a future turn...
Depending on what Geode Cash could have drawn. Because if you pop the Elderwood and then Sunder face, he's at 2. Effectively.
Yeah.
He also does have Vapors to draw.
No, but he's at 2, so if you were to deal 1 more damage to him somehow, he would out of deck draw at the start of his turn and die.
Bro, thinking back, I know where that 1 point of damage was. It was when he traded away Sidekick instead of Unicron. Where actually, I don't know if Unicron lived that next turn, but keeping the banner. Man, Shpungo really... I would have conceded had I been in Shpungo's position. Like, I've only got these Electrons, I've got nothing going off. But Unjust just happened to brick at the wrong time with these expensive draw cards.
I mean, those Electrons were really dangerous, to be fair.
I need to reevaluate that card. It seems like it's a lot better than what I originally gave it credit for.
Oh my god. He could get lethal over the top, even though he's probably going to die this turn with Electron, into Geode Cash, into other stuff.
Well, he's got Vapors healing.
Yeah, but Vapors healing...
Oh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Vapors healing isn't the most effective right now, solely...
Yeah, there's lethal on board here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's game. Absolutely disgusting.
Oh man, what a comeback.
God.
Again, if he'd sundered face, he would have died, see? Although the Electron...
the Vapors were there, he would have played Vapors first.
Yeah.
My word. Well then, We prepared for this. Moon is our final competitor, and he brought Nakamask, so we'll have some fun.
Just completely brick the Zam deck. If you can't beat him, use out of deck plus invincibility to make him uninstall the game.
Yep.
It's great to see that both teams are going for their last plays.
How many are both teams on their final competitor?
Yeah.
Yep. We both still have one more best of 3.
So it looks like this final game will be like a best of 3 then?
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
It'll be, both of you will presumably use it, so that way it's first to 2 wins here.
Does Moon know that he's going to play? Attack him.
I can already tell you. It's just Nakamask. We brought it specifically because we knew you guys were going to bring these stupid janky Zam decks that just obliterate health pools.
So does anyone know if Moon is around? He was in the chat for a while. Also on the Discord.
Yeah, he's been here.
Probably sun is rising at
He's
India right
coming.
now.
Yeah, notably our finals is being commentated by a Texan, a Turk, and a Canadian, and is being played by a Kiwi and an Indian. Oh, that's kind of cool, honestly.
That is pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Community is literally spans the globe.
Yeah.
It just means that our tournament will feature.
Your voice is gone for a second. I didn't understand what you said.
Oh, it's just saying that we're going to have really wonky times for tournaments because like we have to accommodate so many different time zones.
Yeah. Like Shpungo just woke up. And
And Moon's been awake all day.
yeah.
There's going to be a competition of who's drank more coffee. Ah, yes. The Banjo Finals.
Banjo and anti-banjo.
He's going with the account name Tsukii. And Tsukii means moon in Japanese. It's referring to his name.
Oh, wait. Every time I read that, I thought it was, like, I was thinking Tsukii, like, as Tanuki, like the little raccoon thing in Animal Crossing. Just now occurred to me. Yeah, that would make a bit more sense. Yeah. The real metagame is how many different alt accounts you can make that are all, like, just variations on your name. The Good Dog, I think, has this, like, everyone beat on this. But that's because, like, his are all just X-Dog. Had to get really creative with mine.
Yeah.
You're sure, like, Freud Army doesn't have everyone beat?
Well, I guess since Freud is everyone, he does win, but we're talking about second place. Shpungo seemed to be going for that APM dust click meta.
Where's Freud, by the way? Is he still playing? these days?
I'm
I
sure
don't
he
see him.
exists. That's about all I can say. You know that like he's an ETM, or is that right? EMT. Yeah. He's an EMT in real life, so he's got to be busy at times. You know, just casually saving lives and stuff, you know. Slightly more important things than playing a card game.
Yeah, there we go. We're off, folks.
And we're off. Bro, Desire can hypothetically come down next turn. There's a 50% chance about, if not more than, that Desire comes down next turn. Because we know that Cobalt was also in the deck. So it could have been Desire in hand, could have been Deepest in hand, or it could have been Cobalt in hand. There's a paradox named after this where it's like spree doors, like pick a door or whatever.
All the doors lead to death.
Yes. But what was wonky about that one is that if you just pick any door, you have a 1 in 3 chance of guessing correctly. But in the game show or whatever, after you pick, they would open up one of the incorrect doors. And statistically, it was always smarter to swap doors.
Yeah.
Because you got to treat it as
Oh yeah, that thing which broke my brain when I read about it. I'm like, wait, no, but how can that be?
So you're telling me you can design a card game, but you can't understand how picking 2 doors is better than 1.
No, I understood it. I didn't understand it at first. I get it now, because it's like, you pick a door, and the door you picked has like a 33% chance of being correct, and then you can swap to a door that's like has a 50% chance of being correct, so it's better to swap.
Mm-hmm.
Because they take away one of the wrong doors.
Yeah. If anything, that just doesn't sound like a very exciting game. Like, let's be real about this. Like, ooh, what door? Ah. Okay. And? Oh well. And here we go. Armor time, baby. With an 8/9 Desire on board. Ooh, that's meaty.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. Of course, there is the recoil from out-of-deck damage that Moon is going to be facing throughout the rest of this match. Both the damage that he's negating from armor, the wacky guard that is Desire, and what we really care about, not getting blown out by the Zam combo, we probably end up with a lot more health overall. Or, that's the theory anyways.
And Banjo also likes drawing, so out of deck damage will be much higher than the other prisms.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
but Zam is also bleeding out fast from just taking a bunch of damage.
Yeah, we might not even really see a big Zam combo here, because Shpungo might not be able to pull something together. Because, like, how do you answer that Desire? You need Waterline, right? But he hasn't already played Waterline, I don't think. I'm not sure if it's in his deck, though. And if it's not in his deck, that could be an issue. Oh, yeah, it's here. Deepest is another unit that's going to be coming out, though. And with its Anchor drop to just remove that Ponderous, it's going to be a lot more health to chew through.
Oy. Eldritch lore allows him his pick of a lot of different cards from the prism.
Let's be real about this. It's out of deck Touch the Sky.
Yeah, presumably.
If we even get to
We
that
got
point.
2 of them, so we get to see out of the deck Touch the Sky and something else. And just dazing Desire. I mean, one cool thing is we are going to have to see the Zam deck pull off the mother of all combos if it wants to win. Like, presumably, I imagine what's going through his mind now is to hit electrons to get zaps, although, like, you can't even deal damage to the enemy phase with the zaps, so your damage output is cut to like a third.
Oh my. That mistake.
That mistake might cost us the game here. Huh. That's what happens when you get going too fast.
Yeah.
You,
Shpungo caught between the turn timer and a hard place.
I was gonna say, wait, which team is Foxfang? I thought that Tsukii was Foxfang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moon is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm trying to be not super egregious with my commentary.
No. You just said cost us the game, so I was surprised.
Oh. Yeah. No, if Moon made that play, I would be excoriating him and placing dishonorable. He would still be welcome in Foxfang, but I might make a meme or two about him. You know, it's funny. Moon and Skrill was actually on the reserves for us this time around because, like, we had a lot of people. Moon has been in, like, every turf war that we've done so far, and he's always made, like, a very good showing.
Yeah.
Always happy to see him play.
He also performed very well in the leagues.
Mm-hmm.
This is looking like the mother of all combos. I still don't. I don't know if it can get there, but it's going to be a heck of a. He has like all the mana in the world here and an illusion still. It is going to be a heck of a light show this turn, I think.
Yep, we'll see what he does with it. The illusion is still in deck.
I don't know. Do you play Sky Key just to try to get, or Sentry Key just to try to get as much banner as possible? Because that banner could be highly relevant. Like, why are you not? I guess you're waiting for this to play Sky Key. You're gonna play the Zaps. Okay. At least you can still target. We'll be here all night.
We've cut the efficiency on the Zam combo down a massive amount. If he was not playing Nakamask, he would have lost this game from this. Just look at all of this damage. I'll say Shpungo making great use of the stacking things here to try and keep his turn timer alive. And it's so overloaded. It's got to take a break to chill.
The game's going to crash.
Yeah. The Zam decks earlier already crashed my Discord once. The B unit. The B unit.
I feel like there was an argument for saving the B unit solely to make use of Prismata.
Out of deck Prismata.
Well, that was certainly.
Well,
I mean, he's got to clear this board now, or else he'll just get beaten up. So.
Yeah, Krakus in hand.
Or just kill Shpungo. If he.
No, he had Volcanic Potion earlier, but Shpungo, of course, Turn the Tide lets you reshuffle their hand. Okay, we have 3 points of damage. Do we have 2 points of damage? We just need 2 points of damage. It's like a banner and a zap. That's not it. Moon, I know you have it. You're joking with me.
No, he doesn't.
No, that gets there.
Oh my.
Moon was pranking me. Yep. Good job, Moon.
Shabroom.
And hit him with the well played. Feels maybe I should play more Nakamask. Just deny the Zam decks from winning. I'll become the very thing I swore to destroy.
It's like literally with the nurses. You either die a villain or live long enough to see yourself become a hero because you defeat the bigger boogeyman of a deck.
I think you've got that backwards, but okay.
Well, no, because Nakamask
Oh.
is a deck that a lot of people disliked.
Oh, yeah.
So the deck either dies, as in I nerf it, while it's a villain, and it dies a villain, or it lives long enough to fight a deck that's even worse than itself.
Yeah, I suppose that's correct. Okay, now Shpungo is going to bring out the my mid-range deck. Okay, real talk about this deck. I have only seen Shpungo play it. I have never lost to it on like Hork or Fox. I just don't think it's a good deck. I'm sure I'll be eating those words, knock on wood, but just really don't agree with the idea of this deck. Although I guess he has brought the curve down a good bit. It's more of a removal pile, I guess, but... We'll see.
Like, the idea is nice, but I've never seen it work also.
Yeah.
I've seen it top the leaderboards somewhat infrequently, so
Oh.
that may just be due to him grinding it more those times, but...
Yeah. Hey, Coulter, when are you going to put my meta reports in the highlight reel at the bottom of the page?
On the
That would be
patches?
nice.
Yeah, like...
It's not honestly up to me. You'd have to talk to other people. I mean, I could put it forward, maybe, but I honestly just submit my thing. I don't make most of the patch notes. I make the notes for the card changes, and then I just pass them off to Salvatore, who's our excellent patch person and general. He does lots of stuff, more than I
It
can.
would appear Shpungo is ranting and raving about his, like, 70 damage combo no longer having hero chains to remove the only counterplay. Shpungo, in short, boo-hoo.
Does Moon know he's going to play?
Is there any card he could have run to get hero chains?
No, not in those prisms.
Yeah, I guess no. I guess there's no counterplay. Oh, that's something I've thought about in the future, to give some prisms some options to counter hero armor. I was gonna say, like, I'd play Heart and you have like some chain effects there.
Yeah.
Chainstorm.
Zyph.
Yeah.
Agility has Imposter, but nobody plays Imposter anymore. Sunder is just always a good option. And Strength.
I've seen plenty of people play Imposter, to be perfectly frank, in a lot of the aggro decks. Often to excellent effect, so I don't know if no one plays it.
I don't like it, and I haven't seen it in a while, and my perception is objectively true, so...
Can't argue there.
You cannot. Solipsism.
It's been defeated.
Checkmate. It's the equivalent of, like, people online, and then they just, like, their opinion. Play low deck. I have won this argument. Okay, this is actually a pretty good opening hand. Well, no, Mulch isn't going to do much here, but Encapsulate will be very helpful for Desire, which is, in my opinion, just like a busted card.
By the way, this can be the decisive game. Like, the Foxfang may win.
If Foxfang wins here, we win the Turf War. If Shpungo wins, then we are swapping, we are calling our second best of 3 on Moon, and he'll be swapping to a Iris Rainbow deck, which runs all the dragons it can. I actually was the one who put it together, and in hindsight, should have swapped one card for another card, but it'll be pretty fine. Oh, don't tell me.
Oh boy. Is this the Nakamask deck still?
Yes. Yes,
and it
is.
just runs ill will. The deck
Yes.
is just like... This is exactly the reason why Nakamask often I look at it and think about it, like because it's just funny that it's not even like it's that ill will is necessarily strong, but it's very funny to me that he is not only running Nakamask, which is very irritating, but also ill will, which is also irritating.
Well, yeah, we've been talking about this in our little private Foxfang chat. Yeah, literally, like, player 1, you take your turn, you pass it. Turn 2, Mana Flask Ill Will. If they're control, their hand is just garbage. If they're aggro, their hand is just garbage. Because, like, early in the game, hand disruption effects will just always be good.
Yeah.
Because your opponent, if they're good at the game, they're going to be holding good cards. So you're always hitting good targets with that hand disruption early in the game. Unless your opponent just has like an absolute crap hand, it's pretty hard for it to go wrong.
Ill Will was a card when I first saw it designed like a long time ago. It like nerfed the entire deck. It would impact the whole enemy deck, and it costs like 7 or 8 mana. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if this is good, but it's very annoying. It's like I would not want to play games versus this.
Yeah. Okay, no joke. I would have just dropped Hail of Arrows on face there. Because he just played Tempest Brew. He's holding like 3 units. You would have made like Nakamoto 5 cost, Desire 6 cost, Deepest 6 cost, Cobalt 3.
It'd be like Ill Will, only like actually good, except when you play it on turn 2.
It just works. It's in the Iris deck too, because you can go turn 1 Fly Guy, and then it's either Grim Reprisal, Eradicate, or Ill Will. Nasty. Okay, I'm calling it now. That Rave might be important. I am a genius. Rave overdrew the Eradicate. Scooter's a solid play here. Okay,
So
this
like,
is
that's not Scooter, that's Mechabun.
Shpungo's in a really good position here. This Moon has to spend at least 2 of his mana here just to rip out his armor. And the banner will be helpful for getting through this, but we don't know what he dusted. And he would really want to be holding on to like a Volcanic Potion right now to just play out. Yep. 4 mana, 9/9. Deactivate. Okay.
That's a nice top deck.
Yeah. Which, were it not for the armor, Desire would still be annoying here. It's that one little point of attack. Yep, Moon, you and me both. Honestly, I'd be dropping B unit here. Not B unit, Hive. Just get that board control while you can.
Yeah. I think there was like you could have pushed 2 damage to the Cobalt to kill it and dropped Hive onto an empty board by using Hive Sap to leverage like 1 extra damage into the Desire with your face.
Yeah.
To clear the board and develop Hive.
Yeah, Antibands is saying in the chat, like way back when, over a year ago, whenever like you could go Lotus, and then you could just like go first, and then turn 2 you could like Mana Flask, Rosewater Charm on the previous turn, and then play Ill Will whenever it was 6 cost, and nuke the entire deck.
Good old days.
Yeah, I recall that.
Vial's a good draw here. You can curve Mechabun into Cobalt. Wait, no, you have to play Ghost Duster first, but you can do that and then Vile through the thing. And get Hive on board. Yep, Moon, if you want to play Hail of Arrows now and lose like the rest of your turn, go on ahead. Fine by me.
No, it's okay.
Like
We're upstairs.
Rave Hive works better. You can.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Maybe
Coulter,
definitely-
was it just me or did it sound like your wife made pizza rolls?
Who?
I don't know, I thought I heard someone in the background.
There was someone in the background at one point. Just walking by. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Don't give them health. You gotta play treasure chest, right?
Yeah,
Committed.
especially because that health would be armored too.
Although I do feel like maybe Shpungo is drawing too much because he's gonna overdraw now.
Yeah, he really should have dedicated more to board now. Because like this just gets cleared.
Yeah, I do think that maybe he's playing a little too much for the resource game versus Banjo, which is hard because Banjo's really good at that. So it's a game that you're sort of fighting an uphill battle rather than playing tempo and trying to take advantage.
Yeah. He does have Encapsulate to answer Deepest, but that won't be very good on tempo. He kind of really wants to play something to clear that though. Because, should he not, that can be getting some really dangerous out-of-deck draws.
I wonder if there's a My deck that you could make with Burnout in place of. You can make like a My Nakamas deck with Burnout as like backup.
I think people have messed with that before, but the issue is that agility out-of-deck kind of just sucks.
Yeah, it is smaller. It's less meaty than Wisdom as a second one for sure.
Yeah, you'd much rather just run the odds of getting that wacky turn 8 Sky Phoenix. I'm not sure Shpungo has too many great plays here.
I feel like just like, I don't know, encapsulate, develop Savage Garden or something. Like whatever this is, it's probably gonna cost you more resources.
May play the Ranger.
Ranger here to clear.
Yeah, I feel like Ranger blast it, punch it. Yeah, that's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Fine.
He is ending the turn with some board
Well,
control.
unless Tsukii has
Eradicate.
like Eradicate or something. Oh, well, that doesn't kill it in one hit, but armor does soften the blow here.
Aha! The eel out of deck. Ooh boy. Moon's getting a bit aggressive here. Oh, clever. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Going to use the eel effect to overwrite the vapors and draw for free. Shpungo does have good options to clear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should try using some of those zaps, Shpungo, because you've got a lot of them. You need to get board control. Maybe Shpungo is thinking that Hive isn't too good to play because of like the armor. But if he
That's what
is,
I'm
I think
wondering,
he's
yeah.
wanting
I do
useful-
think that Hive can just clog up the board so much that it makes it incredibly difficult for your opponent to effectively contest you.
Oh yeah, it just works. There's not much else to it.
Like, even if it's not the greatest, I could see something like Huntaro or some mix of a couple different ping effects.
Yeah, slash
Hive.
Hive.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah. This is sort of what I was thinking. Yep.
Yeah, that's a better play.
Although I think you didn't need to play Slash there. Although it's fine if you want to develop Slash because Huntaro had the extra zap on it.
Yeah. I'm not sure what amazing options
Was this actually like 4 million IQ? Like I'm noticing right now that Shpungo seemed to very carefully position around that it's a trap, like by playing Hive first and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was smart. Yep, Gear Grind will answer. Let's see what Shpungo redraws. Not a lot.
Or did he just... Oh, right. Attacking is pointless because the opponent has armor.
I would do it anyway. Just assert dominance. Okay, Giza out of deck.
That gets a Maruath or something.
Maruath, Cryogen, Gemini. The odds of hitting a dragon are high.
Did I miss the part where all his spells somehow got banner?
Sky Key at some point.
Yeah.
This isn't lethal, is it? 5, 6, 7. No way.
Not right now.
He just needs 1 point from something. Two points. My mistake. Mawworm does not get Mawworm. Okay, show us that amazing healing that Mai is known for.
To be fair, a lot of its healing was gimped by the fact that it's lifesteal based, and so the armor negates it.
Yeah. Moon, do you have it? Are you going to pull out another Doomsday Lethal? Oh, there we go. Dream Dragon. Dragons for the win, Foxfang.
Shpungo had the Mawworm in hand all the time and didn't use it. That hurts.
He was trying to get as much healing as possible. Which is fair, considering that his opponent had even more healing, so he may have felt his only out was to try to greet it.
Yeah.
Well, Bacon, I guess you want to announce the winner.
Yep. It is with an immense pleasure that I have to say that Fox has now taken it. Brought to y'all by Urban.Nomad taking 2 wins. XYotsuba also playing amazing. And also Urban.Nomad. And of course, Moon, all here to help us crunch it out together. This was kind of great. I really should have prepared something. I didn't think I'd get far. But it was great games. I was very happy to see all of them. Happy to see how everyone played too.
Is it that you didn't prepare something because you were surprised that you won? Yeah, I didn't think I'd get this far.
No, I just...
No, but congratulations to everyone, of course.
Yeah, congratulations.
So great to see everyone come and play here. Really makes all the hard work everyone does to produce the game worthwhile, to see how amazing it is to see the community come together for events like this.
Yeah, definitely. Have you guys decided on the decks by checking what we're playing in the ladder, or are they just their not usual decks?
So I especially don't want to embarrass my players after they all just won for the team, but we were kind of throwing decks together last minute, because like we had a bunch of people who said yeah they could play, but then they're like just if you need me, because like so then I'm like, okay, so who is playing? And then everyone's like, well, I can play. I'm like, okay, but I need some people. And then they're like, I don't, well, I mean, if you want me to, I can. I'm like, okay, well, can you play? Well, yeah, if you need me. And then so I eventually just drafted people. I'm like, okay, make your decks. This is an order. So it was kind of just whatever people had on hand. Me, Moon, and Skrill, though, did work on stuff. Moon had an Iris deck that we worked on. But other than that, no, it was kind of just what people had.
Let's see. Like, Moon's deck really countered the Zam. So I thought maybe you guys practice something to counter the Zam decks and stuff.
Oh, we did totally plan on you guys bringing, like, a Zam deck. Like, we did totally go, okay, we need at least, like, 1 Nakamask just to throw at Zam. And then we were also thinking that we would have Unjust to stuff out Geenareeno, whatever he was going to do, because we figured that removal pile could just run through his aggro and his E for Rise. So then the rest of it was us trying to figure out where to fit Yotsuba and Urban in.
As it turned out, though, the Aetherized deck managed to just outlast the removal. Too many big dudes.
I think that Unjust probably wins that game the majority of times. I think stuff just went a little awry in that. Not knowing a very niche interaction about play summon aura.
Yeah. I think by that point it might have been a little late, but definitely certain key plays, like just having Titanic so low in the deck was definitely made things very hard for him. So.
Tell you what, the highlight game was Yotsuba with the building the train tracks.
Yeah.
Absolutely wacky damage.
And then his opponent, I guess that was Geenareeno or whatever.
Yeah, with the
just being able to just get over the line and survive with the second thing.
22 hit points on command.
It was like both decks performing at absolute peak efficiency versus one another.
Yeah.
Like,
except for that overdraw of the thing, but then he built the train tracks and he salvaged it anyways. So.
Yeah, with the out of deck Sears Mask, man, that was crazy. Maybe we should like bring on Moon and Shpungo since they play, see if they want to say anything.
Sorry.
yeah. Let me tag them and see if they want to say anything.
Yeah, get our final competitors in here. Check out what the chat says. Check out Bacon's meta report. I agree. Stream elements, great idea. Check out the meta report.
That's the old one, I forgot to update that. But still, they can access it.
Good idea, stream elements. I like the way you think.
Like, I'm a little sad that we lost today, but I kinda like the way you played and the win, because now the competition is getting better. If it had been 3-0, like, maybe we would have been considered as the dominant gang, dominant team. But right now things are getting better, and I like that.
I was gonna say, was this the first official win, even though Foxfang obviously wins every match, but everything by default? Was this the first time that Foxfang actually won in the imaginary win space?
By the mere mortal three-dimensional perception of non-Foxfang members, yes, I suppose you would perceive this as our first win. But if you know the true depths of reality, then this is just one of many, many wins that we have.
The alternate versus.
Looks like neither
Foxfang
Moon nor
is
Shpungo is joining.
We're actually like a Lovecraftian eldritch cult. We've got, like, the fox is actually like 27 tails and their tentacles. Embrace the void.
By the way, before finishing, let's do a few announcements. The first one is we're gonna have a tournament. I announced it earlier, but if you missed that, it's gonna have $100 of prize pool sponsored by Community Gaming. It will be played as constructed. It starts on 2nd of August. There will be group games between 2nd and 6th. Then we will move to a single elimination quarterfinals on 7th and on 8th. There will be finals. Will be streamed again on Skyweaverleagues. The commentators are not clear yet, so we'll see about that.
I'm sure I'll be there, potentially.
But you will be playing as well. So.
Oh yeah, funny.
If you got eliminated, maybe you will.
See, but I never lose games.
Besides this, like, it's not an event, but we organize Scribble nights with the Skyweaver community. In Skyweaver League service, we have a Scribble channel. You can tag us whenever you want, and we can play some games together as community. So feel free to do that. And Shpungo is with us. Hi, Shpungo. And Moon also
Hello.
joined.
Just turn on my mic. What's up?
Shpungo, beautiful Kiwi, you were so close.
What? Did you see the amount of damage that Sam would have done had he not had armor?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes. This was
Coulter,
actually like...
Please. Coulter, can I please have some hero chains? And wizard.
Ah!
Yeah. Like I said, that's definitely a plan for the future, is that every Prism should have access to some means of breaking hero armor, whether permanently or temporarily. It's definitely something I want to play with more. It's just like the way it worked out. Like I tried to add some more means, like Sunder was actually a late addition to that. It didn't used to like break armor, it just dealt damage. But yeah, definitely in the future we'll add some more ways to that. Although it seems, I mean, at the same time, I'd say the Zam deck can't complain too hard, considering that it was that although it went 2-2, which pretty much matches the thing exactly. The games it won were incredibly dominant, and even some of the games it lost, as shown, were extremely like razor's edge close.
Yeah.
Despite being armor, Shpungo, you still dealt like 35 damage total. Like, that's not counting all of the zap damage that was lost. The other stuff.
Oh yeah, no, fully. That
Something
would
like
be
100+ damage, presumably. That's what it.
Absolutely disgusting.
Oh wow. I mean, yeah, it is insane. Coulter, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully, we get hero armor and maybe a Zam nerf.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to kill the deck. I have a couple ways. I don't think Zam itself is necessarily the core issue, although I could adjust Zam to try to kill it permanently. But I do think the Zam deck is very cool. I just think it's definitely the entire deck process, again, not like giving any particular cards or anything, might be worth looking into a bit. But...
Yeah. No, that makes sense because I was discussing with Anti-Bans actually when I was playing Zam vs him, and the thing is, Zam isn't the worst part of the deck. It's kind of the mana banking you can do, like the amount of zero cost.
Yeah, it's the ability to produce so many cards that cost nothing. Is the trick that makes it all take.
I mean, Magnanimous is just insane as a card.
It's definitely, Zam is like, what did I do? I just deal damage when you play spells. And Magnanimous, what if spells were free? So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different angles. I do think that at least there isn't like guaranteed turn 2 Magnanimouses off of fish anymore, so that's a good first step. But definitely it's another thing that we'll keep looking into as the time goes on. But I also do think it was very exciting to watch some of those games at the same time. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting build. Again, it really, I do feel it's very exciting to see how the community comes up with new things, like the stockpiling a spell off of Eldritch lore for a turn is what enables those insane kills, because it gives effectively -5 cost to the combo turn, which was something that was kind of like unthinkable. So yeah.
Moon, you got any comments? You've competed in all the turf wars so far, but you finally brought it home for us.
Actually, I thought the Zam turn, I thought I was going to die actually.
Me too.
The continuous damage. Not much, but actually I can just speak much too.
Happy to see that the Naka mask worked out for you.
Yeah, Antivance is saying give Banjo an armor suit. It really fits him.
To think that Naka mask would become like the hero deck of Foxfang.
I was saying the deck that saves the day in the final thing. But yeah, I think that's really cool.
That deck 2 days ago.
Sorry, you
I
can.
imported that. I imported that deck 2 days ago.
Oh wow.
It's
The hero deck is just imported.
It's like a 8 out of 10 win rate. The desire combo is really OP type.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
Desire is really good.
Sometimes you can just full force desire and then clone army. It gets you 2 desire, 4 cost, 11.
Yeah. I just want to say I thought it was really impressive. Like, a lot of things I've been watching other tournament games and games that have tournaments like Hearthstone, where sometimes players will build silver bullet decks in their lineup to just totally full counter enemy decks. So I thought that was really cool to see that the meta and the players' knowledge is evolving enough to the point where people are loading up silver bullet decks to just like blow apart certain, like make meta calls to defeat decks they really know will be problems. So I think that's so cool to see the competitive scene evolving in that way, because it really is like reminiscent of higher level like kind of play that you see in more established competitive scenes that have been going on for years. So it's really cool to see. It's evolving very quickly.
Coulter, that should be a card, like literally like a silver bullet, and like it literally something.
It's like Zephyrus in or Zephyrs. I don't know what his proper name is, but Zephyrus the Great in Hearthstone.
Yeah,
Wishes,
literally just
yeah.
a silver bullet. It's just a silver bullet.
That's actually a good. That's a quite a funny idea actually, for like a card art or something. Silver bullet, and it does something very specific. I'll have to keep that in mind. That is actually very funny.
Good idea, Bacon. Thanks, Bacon.
Yeah. We used to have kill spell, and it just like killed a creature. Like the first version of Mortal Blow that existed a long time ago, I think it might have been 5 mana. It was like an alpha. It was called Kill Spell, which is the colloquial term for a spell that kills something. But ours was just called Kill Spell.
Never forget it.
I think it's time to end the stream. It's getting late for most of the people. Thanks everyone for joining today. Thank you, Waken, thank you, Coulter, and thanks everyone for playing. And congratulations to the Foxfang for their first win. Looking forward to see you on the next event. Bye bye, guys.
Later.
Later.